Hello. I don't normally do midweek videos, but here is a special occasion midweek video because the long list for a very interesting prize has come out today. It is the Republic of Consciousness Prize, slightly odd name, but good prize, which is for small presses in the UK. And the prize rubric defines small presses as fewer than 5 employees. So these are really sort of micro presses. And the definition of the type of book that you can submit for this prize, published within the period they specify, of course, is hardcore literary fiction with gorgeous prose. So this is absolutely the sort of prize that appeals to me. And the prize also has a very soft spot in my heart because my novel, The Storyteller, was longlisted for it this time last year, which was a very exciting day at work when I tried to remain professional whilst also spotting my baby on a prize long list. It was a good day. But the prize was set up last year. Last year was its first year by Neil Griffiths, whose channel some of you may know. I'll link it down below. And it was really to provide a platform for these small presses which are publishing fantastic works of innovative literary fiction, but which don't necessarily get a huge audience because they don't have the marketing budgets available to them that the large presses have. So we have the long list published today. They will all be on my Christmas list, except the ones I've already got. And it's a long list of 13, so same as the Booker. Could not be a more different list. There are books on it by presses I know. So by Galley Beggar, which first published A Girl is a Half-Formed Thing. There's a book called We That Are Young, I think is the Galley Beggar book on this list this year. There is a book from And Other Stories, which published the wonderful Martin John, which I think I may have talked about by Anna Kane Schofield earlier this year. There is a book from Salt Publishing, which has published Deborah Levy, among others. So there's books from a number of presses whose books I have loved before, and presses whose authors have gone on to become literary giants within the UK scene over the last few years. This was almost the kindergarten for some of those. Maybe that's a harsh way of saying it. It's meant to be kind. Additionally, there are books from presses that I haven't heard of at all, so I'll be very interested to see what those say. And there are books which I've seen a lot of on social media, like The Gallows Pole, or a book by a pseudonym called Jack Robinson, which is by Charles Boyle from CB Editions. And there's also a book on here which was also shortlisted for the Goldsmiths Prize this year, and as it happens was next on my list to read anyway, so I shall start with Playing Possum by Kevin Davey. So, fantastic list of books. I'll list them all below, but I strongly encourage you to go over and look at the Republic of Consciousness website. It's a great thing. If you care about literary fiction in the UK and care about diversity in publishing, diversity of types of publishing house, it's a great prize. So with that, I shall leave you to go and have a poke around and see if anything on there appeals to you. And I shall go and start my reading of Playing Possum, and I will mention, I'm sure, many of the books on this list over the next couple of months. But I wanted to celebrate the arrival of this long list this evening because it is, as I said at the beginning, everything that I want books to be, everything that I want publishing to be, and so I'm hugely in favour of this list having come out.